Hey everyone, so it's Hearth and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a continuation on the types of witchcraft series, and I'm going to be talking all about lunar witches. So lunar witchcraft is similar to cosmic witchcraft, which I did talk about in the last episode of this particular series that I will link up in the card up here for anyone that's interested in watching that video. But rather than being connected to the solar system and the galaxies and cosmos as a whole, instead lunar witches are very closely connected to, you guessed it, the moon. Now lunar witchcraft is probably one of the most popular forms of magical practice ever. It is something that has been going for thousands of years, and even today some practitioners are completely obsessed with the moon, its energies and everything it does for us. So lunar witches are often individuals that are very closely connected with the moon and have probably been very closely connected to the moon for a very, very long time. Often, the people who choose to practice lunar witchcraft have been connected to the moon since they were children, and they have a very, very close spiritual and energetic bond to our closest cosmic companion. Now, lunar witches may find that their connection to the moon goes far beyond them just being drawn to it. In those who can actually have periods, a lot of lunar practitioners will find that their periods actually sync up to the moon cycles. They will often find that their emotional state really depends on the phase that the moon is in, and they are so deeply connected to the moon that often they will choose to do their life events at specific phases of the moon above anything else. They are so closely connected to its energies. Now, lunar practitioners often work with the moon and the moon's phases in all of their magical workings. Now, it definitely isn't a requirement to work with the moon in all aspects of magic, but a lot of lunar practitioners will choose to work with it whenever they possibly can. So rather than doing their workings on specific days of the week, specific times of the day, instead you'll often find lunar practitioners will base almost all of their workings on the phase of the moon. They will often know exactly when the new moon is, when the full moon is, when the dark moon is, when it's waxing, when it's waning. They will know exactly what phase of the moon it is at whatever time of the month they are in, and they will be able to plan their workings accordingly. Doing prosperity workings in a waxing moon, doing banishing workings in a dark moon, they will know exactly when and where to do their workings at whatever phase of the moon they are in. And because of this, they are able to draw on some really powerful energies. The lunar energy that surrounds us is so powerful, and those of us who are able to be attuned with it can get fantastic results from working with lunar energy in its different phases. Now, it goes beyond just working with the phases of the moon. You'll often find that lunar witches and lunar practitioners will choose to work with specific lunar events, whether they be zodiac-based lunar events, such as the full moon in Pisces or the full moon in Cancer. They will also choose to work with specific lunar events, such as the wolf moon or the harvest moon, the strawberry moon. Now, these moons will shift as the year goes round, and they'll only happen once a year, so a lot of lunar practitioners will actually time their spells and rituals to fit into these very specific times of the year. And on top of this, they will work even more closely with even rarer types of full moon or moon, such as lunar eclipses, blood moons and blue moons. You'll often find lunar practitioners going completely insane in excitement about all of the workings that they're planning on doing when it comes to that particular type of moon. Now, you often find that lunar practitioners are very much night owls. Whether they were originally night owls or whether that just adapted as their practice adapted, you'll often find lunar practitioners will do almost all of their workings after the sun has gone down, when it's far, far easier to see the moon and to bring it down in workings and rituals. So you'll often find that they will do all of their spell work and rituals after the sun has set. They will often do them outside, and if they can't get outside under the direct moonlight, they'll often do them inside, but in a space where the moon is still visible. Now, of course, this isn't a requirement if you want to work with the moon, because the moon's energy is everywhere at all times, but a lot of lunar practitioners will want to see the moon in their workings, or will want to do it under the light of the full moon, which is a beautiful experience. I've had the pleasure of doing this with a lunar eclipse with a group of practitioners, and it was beautiful. It was unbelievably fantastic being outside and being able to see it and undertake the working whilst being under the light, or lack of, at the time when it was happening. And so I can completely understand why lunar practitioners choose to do this. Now, as well as working closely with the moon, you will often find that lunar practitioners work closely with the element of water. It is the element that is most closely connected with the moon, and because our oceans and our water systems on Earth are so closely affected by the moon, you'll often find that lunar practitioners will work a lot with water magic as well as with lunar energies. So while other practitioners might use a lot of candles, a lot of earth, you'll often find that lunar practitioners, a lot of them anyway, are really drawn to water. They'll enjoy scrying with the full moonlight. They'll enjoy water-based magic, water-based spells, bath spells, shower spells, ritual cleansers, anything that helps them connect even closer to lunar energy they will want to use. On a similar path, you'll often find them working with crystals such as moonstone and labradorite, things that are really closely connected with that lunar energy, as well as things like selenite. These are fantastic crystals to work with if you want to closely connect with lunar energy, and they are fantastic after they're charged under the full moon light. And that is likely something you will often find lunar witches doing. They won't just work in moonlight or meditate in moonlight. You'll often find them charging a lot of items in moonlight as well, whether that be sigils, spell jars, candle magic, petitions, crystals, jewelry, tools, you name it. Guaranteed they have a table out ready to charge all of their little goodies out in the full moon light, or in whatever moon phase they want to charge with energy. Now, this is something that's fantastic for anyone to do, but it's definitely something that a lot of lunar practitioners do, is they will put things on windowsills, they will put things on outside tables, they will make a lot of moon water, anything that allows them to connect closely with that lunar energy at other times of the month. And these are actually great ways of ensuring that they can work with that lunar energy whatever phase they are in. Now, one of the biggest issues, it's not really an issue, but it's something that people come across when they're working lunar magic, is that a lot of the time, if you want to do a binding spell, you're gonna have to wait till the waning or the dark moon to be able to do that. And if you're in the waxing moon, you've got to wait nearly a full month to be able to do that working. So what a lot of people will do is they will charge items, they will charge energy vessels like tools, like crystals, like water, with that energy, so that they can then use it during different phases of the month to manifest their desired intention, no matter what the moon phase is. And this is a fantastic technique that even if you're not a lunar witch, you can draw on in your own personal practice. It's something that I have done many an occasion on blue moons and blood moons, lunar eclipses, full moons, to keep that energy around, to use it further in workings even when they're out of the moon phase. And this is something you'll often find them doing. They will often store items for specific moon phases that have been charged with that energy that they can then draw on again to put into whatever working they are doing. And that really allows you, if you wanted to bypass requiring that moon to be present at the specific time you want to do a working. But you will also find a lot of lunar practitioners will simply wait it out. They're very cyclical. Lunar practitioners I have found to be very rhythmic. They are very patient people, a lot of them. They're able to wait to achieve what they want to manifest, and so they're quite willing to wait till the moon phase they require. Of course, not all lunar practitioners are going to be like this, but a lot of them that I have met have been essentially like this. They've been quite patient. They're quite calm people who just enjoy being able to sit and watch the moon and just enjoy the presence of that energy around them. Lunar practitioners will often find that sleep is easier if they are able to see the moon or have access to the moonlight more easily. Now, this might sound really, really strange, but I used to be a lunar practitioner myself. I was obsessed with the moon and I could not sleep. If the curtains were closed, I just couldn't do it. I had to be able to see the moon in order to sleep. And it's something, after talking to other lunar practitioners, that they've experienced as well. That connection to the moon feel so broken when you don't have that energy falling on you all the time. And so I've often found that a lot of lunar practitioners will often sleep with the curtains open so they can actually see and feel that lunar energy more easily. Now, another thing I have found is that a lot of lunar practitioners are often really closely connected with healing magic, dream spells, and emotion working. So you'll often find lunar practitioners are also very closely connected with emotions. A lot of them are empaths, or they're natural energy healers, or they're natural crystal healers. A lot of them are very good at Reiki and energy healing, or they're very good at working with dream magic, astral projection, these kind of things. They're often really, really successful at it. And I'm not sure why, whether it's because they're so closely connected with the water energy, the lunar energy, but they are just often really, really good at connecting with these specific practices. Of course, they can do all other practices as well, and some people might not connect with these, but a lot of lunar practitioners do really closely connect with these paths within their magical practice. Now, lunar witchcraft isn't something that you have to do with deities, but if people do include deities, they might well include deities connected with the moon, such as Diana, Selene, and Artemis. These are just a few, there's a lot more. But you'll often find that practitioners who work with lunar energy will often connect to deities that represent the moon, or that work with the moon, or have a really close relationship with it in their myths and in their legends and stories. And so you'll often find people that connect really closely with the moon often also connect with Diana. They'll connect with Selene. They'll also connect with water deities such as Poseidon. Anyone that works with the moon will often know this draw, this connection, and a lot of the times they'll also want to work with deities that experience that. Now, of course, that doesn't apply to everyone, but a lot of practitioners do find themselves drawn to these more watery, lunar-based deities. So, of course, lunar magic doesn't have to be done with deities. It can be done completely secularly. But it isn't something that you have to do solely by itself either. A lot of lunar practitioners might be devoted lunar practitioners, and that's all they do is work lunar witchcraft. But you'll also find people that work with the moon's energy in other forms of magical practice. You'll find eclectic practitioners that draw on the moon in their workings, and they connect with the moon's energy during its different phases. Or you may find that a water witch may connect really closely with lunar energy and include it in their workings. You might find an elemental practitioner really enjoys calling down the moon as well as evoking the elements as a way of adding intention into their workings. So it doesn't have to be something you do by itself. So if you are drawn to lunar witchcraft, you don't have to dedicate yourself solely to lunar witchcraft. You can include it in other practices as well and have fantastic results. Now, I do have a fantastic book about lunar magic that I have read and found to be brilliant for this particular subject. It is the book Moon Spells: How to Use the Phases of the Moon to Get What You Want by Diane Alquist. I'm terrible at names, but I think that is how it is said. Now, this book was recommended to me by a long-time lunar worker. She is devoted to working lunar energy, and it's mainly all she ever does, and she recommended this book. So I picked it up straight away, and I had a really good look at it, and I thoroughly recommend this book. It goes into working inside and outside of lunar months, lunar calendars, different days of the week, as well as phases of the moon, little guides as to how to use the book, different gemstones to use, using the moon for health and spells, and it's really good actually. I really enjoy this. And what I didn't know at the time is that this particular look of book, I'm pretty certain the look changed. It's actually a reprint of a much older publication that was so successful that they brought it back into print again because it was so popular. So I absolutely love this book. I don't work much with the moon anymore. I've ended up moving on to other forms of magical practice. But if I'd have had this book at the time I was working lunar magic, this would have been invaluable. So if you can grab this book, it's honestly really good. Obviously you can get it from anywhere. I think it's in the works at the moment. You can get it online, you can get it in occult shops, you can get it on Amazon. I will be putting the name of this book and who it's by down below so that you guys can find it easily. And down there's also going to be a little link that you can follow and get the book from Amazon. Now I will say that that link is an affiliate link, so you don't have to use it at all if you don't want to. But if you do want to help the channel out and you also want to get the book, I do get a small percentage from Amazon if anyone uses that link. So if you want to help the channel and you also want to get the book, the link is down there as well. But obviously you don't have to use it. You can just search using the name and you will be able to find it. I do thoroughly recommend it. A lot of books I read, I'm not much for it. But this book is actually really good and I would recommend it. I think it's probably one of the best lunar moon magic books I've actually read. And you know I'm not much for spell-based books, but these give you so much freedom to kind of adapt it, and they give you a really good idea of what spells to do at what phase of the moon. So I think it's fantastic, especially if you're new to lunar magic, to kind of learn the kind of intentions that are best at which moon phase. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Please remember that everyone is different and not everyone is going to feel the same things as another practitioner, and what I say in this list isn't going to apply to absolutely everyone, and that is completely fine. These are just designed to be a guide for the kind of things that I have found within my own personal practice and that I have spoken to others about for how they feel as a lunar practitioner. So if you did find it useful and you enjoy the content, I would love if you could give it a like. That really means so much to me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, video ideas, or just want to chit chat with the community down below, feel free to post a comment. And I'd love to know what your favourite moon phase is for doing spell work and ritual. I think my favourite moon phase is probably the waxing moon, because a lot of the workings that I do are for uplifting and increasing things. But I would love to know what your favourite phase of the moon is for magical practice or just aesthetically. And if you do enjoy the magical content in this video and on this channel, feel free to hit subscribe. I post new magical content every Wednesday and every Saturday at 6 p.m. So I hope you guys have a marvellous magical day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!